Welcome, Sports Nation, to Sports DTM, the sports channel where we call sports down the middle. You can expect the latest in sports news, views, and reviews from our resident analysts. No sports topic is too controversial, and no team or player is above criticism. So just smash that subscribe button and ring that notification bell to make sure you don't miss out on our balanced offering of riveting sports content. And don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment below. Welcome to Sports DTM.
And welcome to another exciting episode of Sports Down the Middle, the channel of undiluted sports content. Yes, we're here, and today we're going to look at the Reggae Boyz squad that was named for the Mexico, Costa Rica, and Panama game. Today we have live in our studio, we have Ray, we have Eddie Guna, and we have also Adrian. Welcome, gentlemen. Today we talk about the Paul squad that was named for the upcoming World Cup qualifier windows. So before we start, what do you think about this side that was called by Paul?
I'll go first.
Okay, go ahead.
Go first. I think it was a relatively balanced squad. Unlike previous squads where we have overload in certain areas, a lot of right backs or a lot of wingers, and so we basically got two players for each position. I think it's quite balanced, especially at the back. Good lineup. I don't want to get into all of it right now, but we saw a lot of players that we wanted to see, and I'm impressed with Paula's first selection.
Okay, Ray. We see that Jamaica just play a friendly international, and most of the person that was in the friendly international, not including this side. To me, I think the side was picked long time ago, long time ago. So for him to call up these guys to play against Peru, what does that, did that make any sense?
So the thing is, Paul is actually not here for the short term pretty much. So whatever come off the World Cup qualification campaign, I'm figuring that you have other tournaments to be fielding. And so you'd like to know what you're working with. Also, there's also a possibility that some of these players that you have already picked for the upcoming three games might not be available. And if they are not available, you might have got dig into the squad. And the persons at this short notice you can actually call up and have them join you in such short notice, as I said, would more likely be the local-based players. So I can see what he's thinking, and it makes some sense.
Okay. Adrian, what's your opinion generally over this squad that he picked for this window? 3 games. You think these players can sustain it?
Well, the truth is, Tigat, colleagues, when you look at this squad, pretty balanced squad, nothing to be excited about just yet. The attacking lineup, I think, is short on a couple of players. The wingers, probably only the genuine number 9 is Mikel Antonio. I think it's a little short there. The midfield hasn't played together a lot, and quite a bit of not really tried and proven players. Certain notable omissions, which we'll get into eventually. Defense, still not all that excited about our defense as well. Just think that we still have some chinks. But obviously, Paul is looking at a balanced team, has players covering multiple positions, and probably it's a step in the right direction generally. But wait and see how he will set up the team going forward.
Okay, beautiful. Now that the gentleman has said their opinion, we're going to dive right down in the squad so you guys can see what we're talking about. All right, gentlemen, goalkeeper. We have the number 1 goalkeeper from the Philadelphia Union, Andre Blake. We have Dwayne Miller, and we have Amal Naik. Your opinion in goalkeepers? Any surprise?
No. Who could have been a resounding no? Really?
Okay.
Expected.
Well, Well, I tell you what, Andre Blake is not a surprise. The big surprise is that the other goalkeepers, Amal Knight played in the last match
Right,
against Peru, in the not the FIFA window, but the most recent match for Paul Hall. But
right.
there's no Dylan Barnes, who has been
Mm-hmm.
traveling all throughout the time. No Jaden
Right,
White,
right,
no Dennis Taylor. So
right.
therefore, it would appear that Paul Hall was not on the same page with the selection of those players, as against a Dwayne Miller, who is a very experienced goalkeeper, as well as a Amal Knight. So that those are interesting selections for me. Probably should have been the selections that were there before, but
Right.
obviously this is the direction that Paul Hall thinks that we should have been going.
All right. So I know more. I expect that the number one is going to be Andre Blake. So let's move on right back right straight into the defenders. All right. The defenders. We have Moore, Mariappa, Lowe, Pinnock, Lawrence, um, Gregory, Javan Brown, and Alvas Powell. Any surprise there?
Alva spoil. I think
Alvas Powell.
What?
he was, for me, yes, I think it was. We many persons. First of all, many persons thought that Alva spoil was, one of Tapas players, and I'm pretty much surprised that he's still in the squad after being out for the previous window. He had some injuries and so. So we could have looked elsewhere for another right back. However, he's still there, so he's a surprise for me as it relates to the back line.
Well,
Okay.
I tell you what, and I'm sure Ray's going to chirp in a little. All it shows with these inclusions are that, contrary to the thoughts of that were going out there about this famous seven who are not going to be interested, Alvas Paul is still in the squad. Damian Lowe is still in the squad, and there are a number of other players who are still in the squad wanting to represent their country. On this day, Alvas Paul is one of the best, if not the best, right back Jamaica has. He has in recent time not enjoyed the best of form, having been injured, and you could see it as he played over the last couple windows. But it's hope that even though he probably doesn't start because that Javian Brown is more
Javan
fit
Brown,
and
yeah.
healthy at this point in time, a fit Alva Spoil can put in a lot of damage, and even he can also play as a good support should he not be 100%. But I'm sure Paul Hall wouldn't be calling him if he didn't think that he could actually help the squad.
Okay, nice. Ray, anything you want to say about this defensive lineup?
No, it's what I expected. I hear your guys' opinion on Alvas Powell being in it and the possibility that he might still have a knock or something of the sort. But I think you couldn't have a better person there in a sense because if you realize the range of play that Alvas Powell provides, he's able to also, move forward and support the attack in most cases. Not so much like a Brown who would sit. So Paul Hall has his work cut out for him. What kind of strategy you'll be using, who he wants to sit. If you want a defender to stay home, then you know who to play, especially if they're under attack, or especially if they figure this team that they're about to play is a have a lot of attacking power, so you know how to set it up. And so at any given time, you can have a Alvas Paul starting versus a Brown, as I said, depending on the opponent. So it makes sense to have the squad with them, with these players, to determine, when you face those opponents, you know how to set them up.
But by the
Nice.
way, Tigat,
Go
Ethan
ahead.
Pinnock, Ethan Pinnock is back. Was out
Right,
the last window or so, and
right.
he is back the Brentford FC defender to shore up the
Mm-hmm.
defense line. That's an interesting look. Let's see how that
Right.
one plays out.
That one plays out. Now moving on to the midfielders. Right, we have William, Stewart, Morris, Vassar, Walker, and Johnson. Any surprise there, Eddie?
One would say Kevin Stewart. He's been absent for club for quite some time with injuries, and trying to try to break back into the team. So it's a bit of surprise. I don't know if he's actually fully fit because hasn't been playing for club. But hopefully Paul Hall got some good news and that he's fully fit because we're going to need a defensive midfielder. There's no Anthony Grant, so we're definitely going to need cover in that position. So I'm hoping that we didn't bring an injured player. I'm hoping that we brought a player that we could utilize for the 3 games.
Right. The others overuse that thing, injured player, and then all of a sudden we see them playing 90 odd minutes and not injured. They say Alvas Paul was injured, but yet still Alvas Paul was playing. We hear that Damon Lowe was injured and yet still Damon Lowe was playing. But let's see how this one played. Adrian, any surprise in midfield?
Well, there are a couple of surprises for me. No Anthony Grant for the entire window.
Right.
Just doesn't cut it. I think Anthony Grant has played well for the time that he has actually got the opportunity to play. Well, Peter Lee Vassell comes in. Not so sure. We know that Peter Lee Vassell is a talented player, but I'm not so sure I've seen Peter Lee Vassell doing as much work to be able to warrant in the 23-man squad, but it's a good up-and-coming player. That's not there. We knew that it's good to see Daniel Johnson back in the squad, and that's a good addition. Kevin Stewart at this late stage, we don't know what to expect. It's a crucial World Cup qualifier, so we don't know what to expect. Yes, he's a central defensive midfielder, but he hasn't played with the team before. And obviously, from we heard Paul Hall saying you had to be playing for your club, Tariq McGee would not have been called, which is a player that we'd have loved to have seen in this team since they are going on. But he's not playing for his club either. Granted that Eddie is telling us that Kevin Stewart hasn't been playing for his club, so a bit of inconsistency there. What
is going on?
Let's see how that one works. I guess the bigger exclusion for a lot of people would have been Haka, Javon Watson. Hey, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. People thought that Aka was on his way into this squad. I mean, from his time in the last match, I suspect
the last game was a farewell, man. We said it on the live.
Farewell. He didn't do well. He didn't do well enough. As a matter of fact, Aka was like a cat with 9 lives, and it just seemed like he was going to carry over from the other window into this window, but I don't think he did himself any good in the not showing up in the Peru game and the critical mistakes that he made. The calls became louder, and it just became difficult for Coach Paul Hall to pick him in this side.
Question to the panel. Do you think that Watson would be out of the team regardless, even if he didn't make any mistakes?
I think that if Watson played well enough this game, just as it was before, there were people, don't forget, there were people who before that game, was saying they were looking to Watson even partnering Damian Lowe in defense for the Peru game and probably even carrying it over into the World Cup. So he had his audience behind him who were actually pushing for Javon Watson. We were told that the team needs leadership and the team needs a vibes man in the camp. Therefore, there you go.
Yeah, that is true. Me, I read upon some of the players, and for Stewart, he's a natural CD. You understand? So hopefully that work out good for us. He's not a makeshift person we're putting in there. So I hope he's just injury free and ready to go. You understand? So hopefully that work out. To me, just the chemistry is going to play a major factor. The chemistry of the game. He's a natural CD. You understand? It's good if we have Mr. Grant. I try to
central defensive midfielder.
Yes. CDM. Right. So he's a natural CDM. When I read up on his profile, natural. Anthony Grant, I hear that he's have some little something going on with his club. You understand? So they didn't want to mess around with that. So he's out for some personal reason. I hear that's what I've been hearing, rumors. You understand? So I hear some here. So let's leave that. But let's hope this work out. We're moving on now to the attackers. You understand? We have Flemmy, we have Burt, we have East, we have Reed, we have Gray, and Antonio. All right. So Ray, you didn't say anything in the midfield. Let's start with you first. Any surprise?
Right. If I'm surprised,
yes.
not
surprise,
really.
you see?
No, well, not really. Andre Gray in a sense would be my only surprise. But we all know why. Because you guys mentioned personal issues, some other things that been going around as an excuse. So, you know, the absence of Shamar Nicholson would clearly leave a gap. And I see Andre Gray pretty much filling that. Also, there's no more roof. So them pretty much not have that in these plans at all.
Convertible settings.
Right. So we're not seeing no roof in this setup at all. So those are some of the persons that's missing, and as such, Andre Gray fill the gap. And so I understand him feeling this kind of team.
All right.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we don't have any Demari Gray. So there's no Demari Gray issues with getting the passport on time for the window. Unfortunately, as we all know, Leon Bailey was out as well, so we kind of short in the winger aspect. They didn't call up Blair Turgot, so and others, so no Kaim Paris, so we're kind of short in that department. But it's based on who we have, so we have to just work with this lineup.
Adrian, any surprises? What do you think about this attacking lineup?
So I mean, this attacking lineup lacks probably a second number 9. It also lacks a winger. Okay, so there is no Leon Bailey. There is no the winger from Everton, Demari Gray. But what about Jamal Lowe? Jamal Lowe would have been a good addition there. Junior Fleming is the only winger that is actually out and out winger that is actually there. We have number 9s in Mikel Antonio, Javanese, Corey Burke, Andre Gray. That's 4. Unless it is that we feel that we'll be short, we'll be spreading all of them over the period. It's a little bit touch and go for me, right? So I think we're short a number 9. I think we're short a winger, and probably coming out of the midfield, we may pretty much lack some creativity. Although there's Lamar Walker and of course the young player Robert can provide some of that as well, right? So that's my concern in that era. Mikel Antonio will have to do a lot of the load. Javan still is there. I'm not so sure he has played his best and all campaign, as well as Bobby Reed. Corey Burke will give you some fight, but he's not your out and out number 9 by himself per se.
We even short and Adrian, because I'm hearing that Corey Burke won't be there, so we could be in another number 9 down for documentation. Yeah, so have to watch that space.
There you go.
But who you think would possibly be able to fit in short notice? Clearly, a local base player might.
A local base.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think we could get a lot of them who impressed enough. This is a World Cup qualifier we're talking about. And you'd have to go back to the pool of players who have played within the qualifier to actually get them here. You're not going to get a Jamal Lowe on such short notice to fly in right now. So yeah, we're going back to either local base or somebody in the MLS, and there are not a lot to choose from.
Central America.
Or Central America. There are not a lot of them to choose from right now.
Private Sport DTM fans, another episode of Sports Down the Middle. Paul All side for the World Cup qualification window. All right, this is DTM reaction. Remember to subscribe, share, and like. Be blessed.